welcome back to the show, and it's my pleasure to welcome back into the studio one of our regular contributors to South and About. It is, of course, Maureen Fox, Chairperson of the Historic Places Trust. Maureen, welcome back.
Good evening.
Now, I understand we're going to see a church today.
You're going to see two churches, one that has been restored and one that is about to be restored. Two significant, very old churches.
Sounds great. Maureen, take it away.
Thank you. Christchurch Clifton opened in 1887. It is the oldest wooden church still operating on its original site in Invercargill. Its restoration was completed in 1998 with the assistance of the Stout Trust Wellington, Invercargill Licensing Trust, Community Trust of Southland and the Invercargill City Council, with support also from the MP for Invercargill, Mr Mark Peck. The Southland branch of the New Zealand Historic Places Trust assisted with the repiling of the church in 1986. The branch provided funding in 1993 to repair decayed weatherboards and barge boards. Late in 1997, the Southland branch decided to undertake restoration to arrest serious deterioration of this historic church for the Cook Islands Christian Church and the community of Clifton. The Deputy Chair and Architect Mick Heslin prepared the schedule of works, and Maureen Fox, Chair of the branch, set about raising the necessary finance. The work commenced in 1998 and involved the replacement of some weatherboarding, designing new entrance doors, roofing repairs, spouting, downpipes, storm water drainage, painting of the exterior and repainting the interior. Polycarbonate was provided for the windows. A replacement bell was secured and the Invercargill City Council landscaped the grounds. A notice board was designed and erected on the corner. Transit New Zealand provided the historic church sign on the main highway to Bluff. The church was reopened at an impressive ceremony on the 24th of April 1999. Present were members of the Cook Islands Christian Church with invited guests, speakers including the MP for Invercargill, Mr Mark Peck, the Mayor, Mr Tim Shadbolt, Mr Ray Harper of the Invercargill Licensing Trust, Mr John Prendergast from the Community Trust of Southland, Dr Vida Stout on behalf of the Stout Trust, and Mr David Harrington. The bell was rung by Mr Stanley Fox, grandson of Mr James Fox, who had rung the bell every Sunday for a period of 50 years. Mr Fox Sr. died in 1942, aged 98 years. The Anglican Church of Clifton was opened by Archdeacon Stocker at 3 p.m. on Christmas Day 1887. Architects Mackenzie and Gilbertson, builders Mickey and Ritchie, cost £158. The following day, the Southland Times reported, the main building is 30 feet by 20 feet, the ridge of the roof being 27 feet above the floor. The church will accommodate over 90 sitters. The building is of wood with steep pitched roof. The windows have diagonal sash bars with cut blocks under the sills. Considerable zeal and enterprise have been shown in erecting such a building. In 1937, for the 50th Jubilee, electric lighting was installed. In 1979, classified as a registered building by the Historic Places Trust. In 1993, gifted with original furniture and memorials to the Cook Islands Christian Church. This fine church was built in the 19th century, has stood throughout the 20th century, and now has its future in the 21st. The specially designed toilet, opened in January of this year, was also a project of the Southland branch of the Historic Places Trust. $58,000 was raised for both projects. On Sunday the 11th of March of this year at the Green Hills Church, a decommissioning and Thanksgiving service was held before the church was gifted to the community. The Reverend Colin Ledley conducted the service for a large number of former parishioners and friends who filled the church to overflowing. Memories were shared of the families and individuals who had attended the church built in 1886. It had operated as a church until the late 1980s. The keys were then handed to Mr. Ian McIntyre, associated with the establishment of the Green Hills Historic Church Charitable Trust. The Trust will restore and maintain the building, which could be featured on the Bluff Heritage Trail. The erection of a church at Green Hills for the Methodist congregation was started in 1886 on a section donated by Mr. S. Sullivan, who also carried out most of the construction work. The church runs from east to west with gable ends and has a small porch built in the form of a tower. The two entrance doors are Gothic styled. Interior walls and ceilings are hand-dressed, varnished, tongue and grooved, Rimu timber. Windows are Gothic shaped with coloured glass window panes. In 1925, electric lighting was installed. A room was added to the east wall to be used as a vestry and storeroom. The original pews remain. In 1986, the centenary of the church was celebrated with general upgrading and repiling. After church services were discontinued, a Sunday school begun in 1991 operated for some years. The Green Hills Historic Church Charitable Trust with the community of Green Hills are to be congratulated for accepting responsibility for this historic landmark, registered with the Historic Places Trust, a unique treasure on the road to Bluff.
Well, that was indeed fantastic. That's a wonderful job of restoring those churches. It's great to see this church is fully restored again.
Isn't it wonderful? You can see what has been done with Christchurch Clifton, and the Green Hills Church has been partially restored, and we look forward to its full restoration.
Maureen, well done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you again.
Well, stay with us here on South and About. On the other side of these commercials, we'll catch up with what's happening this weekend with weekend events.